Hello gamers! Today I'm going to be showing you a replay and how much of a difference it can make when you can use your brain. Of course, a lot of you, if you watch my live streams, stuff like that, you know that I'm not the greatest at it because I tend to forget things and because I'm just simply bad at the game. But you know, that's completely different. That's a little bit of a different topic. So let's talk about this. So what replay are we going to watch? We're going to watch a game that I had a little bit ago in the Leopard 1 a couple days ago, and it was a good game, and I'll be explaining what I'm doing and what I would normally do if I wasn't to use my brain, and how that would have affected the outcome of the match. So, we are on Westfield. Not a terrible map, to be honest with you. Um, it's a decent map for the Leopard. So what are we up against here? So we notice that they don't have any light tanks, neither do we. So that instantly puts us at a camo advantage. So my teammate is actually going to communicate to me. It's going to be my Char, and yeah, they have a couple TDs, so we have to be careful. They possibly have three or so tanks that we might greet, which might be these two tier 9 medium tanks and the two tier 10 medium tanks. So if we read chat here, we can go ahead and see that my Char actually has communicated with me. It won't let me do so. So let me see if it. How do I bring it up? I forgot how to bring it up. But anyway, um, so we're going to take the aggressive position. Now, if I wasn't to do this, if I didn't have an ally that I knew that was going to come with me, what I initially would normally do is I would sit at this bush that is right in front of us, kind of where that one guy pinged, and he's just pinging it bit by bit. We do have the other Char with us as well, which is really good. So we're going to keep pushing forward. I'm going to put some trust into my allies. Another thing to notice too is that they have a lot more dangerous heavy tanks than we do, so it is crucial as well that we kind of push and win the south as we are here. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We have the mobility advantage for the most part. I didn't have enough gun depression there, the Amex did, so very unfortunate for me there. Maybe I shouldn't have been a little aggressive there, but I was wanting to try to spot, so it is what it is. So anyway, back to the heavies. So all we have is an IS-7. He's really the only heavy tank that we have that can withstand a chance against a Skunk and an M454 and a VZ. So we instantly almost have a disadvantage when it comes to heavies. So unfortunately, the Char bumps me there and I miss my shot, but it still doesn't really matter. They managed to clip him out with these. So once I'm unspotted here, I'm just going to peek a little bit more. It's kind of unlikely at this point that the E50M has pushed. At least that's what I'm thinking. So I have to be very careful when I cross here. I'm going to take the low ground and going to try to use these bushes as my advantage because I will be able to outspot everyone on the enemy team except for maybe their Leopard 1, who probably also has almost as good, if not the same or maybe even higher camo than I do. So I'm going to aim a little bit and going to try to pump up some damage. There's no reason for me to move up right now, especially when I have shots. So I'm just going to keep pumping out some damage, at least just for a little while. And I'm going to keep moving up. Now, normally what I would do is sometimes, depending on the medium lineup, if I don't feel like brawling, I'll go the G line and I'll snipe kind of where our E4 is if you look on the minimap. You should only really do that if you have to, like if you have to retreat. So I'm kind of learning to, you know, be a lot more careful. The E50 does turn his turret. We were able to put a shot into him for free. Pretty easy to do. And we're going to hopefully get another one here. And we do end up taking out the T-54 for our first kill. And that pumps us over 2,000 damage. So I was going to take a risky cupola shot. I was just kind of being patient. And but it doesn't matter. Our VZ, of course, is going to clip him out. And as I predicted, our heavies have lost. So now we can make our advance here. Now this is very dangerous, the way that we are going to approach this. So our VZ, let me pause it and let me look at this mini map here. So you guys can see my mouse, right? Yes, you can. Okay. So from here, it's very risky. So we don't know if they have tanks here, and if they do, it's very dangerous. Um, the Foch is because he's not peeking the hill. If they push this, we won't see it coming until they're about here, where the kind of where the dip is. So it's very risky being here. Um, and this is where the Leopard's camo really comes in handy. And same with our view range. We have max view range. I think we have like I think it's 450 or 460. It's pretty high, even though we don't have optics. Um, and another thing is that I expect the enemy to either push or to fall back completely and defend their base. Um, and if they defend, it can make it very tricky. And there's not a whole lot you can do if they do it well, if they defend very well, because they can take the hills here. If they push the city down through here, they can kill these 2 heavy tanks. They can push down here and they can push through here and push through here. Get our guys here in a crossfire. So there's a lot of different things that can happen. But we are in a safe spot here. This is a safe spot because we can react to everything here quickly in time. And we're able to fall back or push if we absolutely have to. And this is where being patient really, really pays off. So at the moment, let's go ahead and see what happens. So with this, I'm going to try to use the bushes to my advantage. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to try to back up. Now, if I look here, right here, for the most part, I'm concealed. So anyone that is coming kind of through this direction here, anyone that crosses down here won't really be able to spot me very easily. They can if they kind of push this because the top of my turret's kind of exposed. The side of my turret's kind of exposed where they have a checkpoint. So I could get spotted through there. Another thing too is that if they come in through this way here, where my mouse is here in the north, I might get spotted. Actually, no, I actually won't get spotted through that because I'm double bushed, unless if I fire, is when really the only chance I have of getting spotted. So for the most part, we are concealed. Another area where they could spot me is if they decide to push down here, because that's where I'm exposed at. So that's just something to keep in mind too. That's something that I was very careful of. I wasn't sure how much I should have trusted this this bush, but that is something that I've kind of looked at a little more because it can really change the outcome of the game. And yeah, so at this point, we don't really know what's going on. We do know, however, that their artillery doesn't have a W key because he just stays there the entire time. And now their Leopard's going to try to push down. So our Foch is going to just kind of spot them. He has to be careful, though. The second he dies, we kind of lose some vision knowing if they're going to push. And I believe that blind shot actually hit. If we look at the damage after this, I'll show you the results. And that was a lovely shot, too. So the reason I'm safe here, look at the mini-map. So as long as I'm within this yellow circle here, of course, you guys know that's the render range. I know as long as I'm in there, I'll be able to help my team whenever they spot. So the K91 now is going to be the one spotting because he is the closest one. And unfortunately, our Foch did die. I'll be able to, unless if the Leopard has really good camo, me or the Char should spot him crossing down here. So I want to try to stay, I don't want to go any further up than the 9 line, so I don't really want to get close to this edge right here because that's where I'm a lot likely to more get spotted. That's where I'm kind of in the spotting range, especially if I fire. So it's just kind of stuff like that. But yeah, I've learned that it's really important to notice that because it really can change the outcome. Now, normally I would kind of just push. If I wasn't using my brain, I would kind of just push up to. I would probably try making an aggressive play here, spotting this. It might have worked. I don't know. And the Char could have stayed there. And as long as the Char didn't die, I might have been okay there. I don't know, to be honest with you. But I was afraid of the VZ and them pushing there, and we'll find out later or not if staying here was a good idea. We'll see if it really does pay off. So just kind of different things I like to look at, like if I had a really good game, I want to see what else maybe that would have gone differently. We do aim at the lower plate of the E75, and we do get him for our second kill. Yeah, that's we don't have very much damage now, only 2.5k, so not very good. We still have a lot of work to do. This could just as easily be a win as it is a loss. Now, the reason I've fallen back to this is because I was kind of thinking that they're, because we haven't seen much of them here in the north, they're either not pushing or they are pushing the south, which I kind of thought. As we can see, we have a bunch of tanks falling back, so it's not a bad thing that I fell back. If they push along this side, I'll be able to spot them here as long as they're not in bushes, that kind of thing. Our char is there, so if he does spot something, for the most part, I'll be able to help him, unless if they push the A line, because I'm out of render range, so I won't be able to help him if they're there. But if they decide to push along the 7-8, whatever, and they push around this area, I will be able to help him. Same thing with my allies here in the center. If they spot something that is overpeaking them in the hill, I will be able to shoot them, because as long as they're not further east of the 4 line, as we can see my render range. So that's just kind of something too that I was thinking about, and I need to practice using my brain a lot more, because that seems to help win games. Of course, pushing the 9-0 would be a terrible idea, especially now since our allies fell back and they're wanting to defend the base now. So the best thing to do is just to make sure that we don't get outflanked. So having the map control like we do now with the char and me, and then we'll know, of course, if they're pushing our base, because the E4 will spot them if they overpoke, and of course our RD will probably die as well when they come close to the ridge or the hill. They're on the F line. The F line, they can probably spot the RD, depending on if he's in bushes or not. I don't know if he is, but that's something also too that was kind of going through my head. Now again, normally if I wasn't using my brain, if I wasn't patient enough, I maybe would have gone back to base and probably have taken the G line there, like at G3, and would have maybe spotted that. That's a terrible idea, because if they poke the 1-2 line, and if they poke the 3-4 line there at the top of the hill, I'm in a crossfire, and that means I'm also dead. So I'm not saying that like it's gonna happen like that every time, but I've played it long enough to know that that's what does happen a lot of the times. And yeah, so now the char's moving up. He's pressuring cap, so that means that I'm gonna move back up. Our VZ and our E4 are also moving back up, and the K91 is kind of just sitting in a camping position, overwatching the base, which I guess is a fine position for now. So as we can see, they do spot. The char does spot him, and I think the char does get lit as well from the guys that are there. It looks like I don't know if their leopard is still there. I don't remember, but I believe by now, if I remember correctly, their VZ has now pushed the A line. If I remember correctly. Oh, actually, it was their leopard. So as we see there's their leopard. He's not gonna really last terribly long. So, and again, being patient here really does pay off. So there's the VZ. He does get lit. Gonna aim for his lower plate and fire. Do get a nice little high roll there. Now, at this point, I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure which tank to focus, but I have to, because I no longer have shots on the Leo or VZ. This E3 is a must to shoot, so we're gonna get kind of a nice shot. We're not gonna get spotted. I was kind of worried about that, because I didn't know if the leopard was being really aggressive and if he was pushing down the 0 line, because if he does spot me, I am dead, because there will be 4 tanks that have shots on me. All I have to do is poke around that corner or poke the top of the hill, and they can deal with me pretty easily. So now I'm kind of forced to fall back, because I'm afraid of their leopard 1 spotting me. This game isn't over, and I don't want to just throw away HP. I have a lot of HP, which can be proven to be very valuable later on throughout the game. And it's just a good habit to practice anyway. Just trying to save your HP. Like, don't take shots if you don't have to. Don't take risks if you don't have to. And so now what I'm doing here, I'll pause it again and I'll show you. So I look around kind of here, and nothing can spot me unless if they get directly behind me there, and by then of course I'll already spot them if they peek here. I'll be able to spot anything that kind of crosses down here if they push down, and that means that me, the VZ, and the E4 will have them in a crossfire. So it's a good thing that they stayed there. If they didn't, I would have had to fall back even more, most likely. Probably have fallen back to there if my allies moved. So that's just something I kept in mind as well. And like I said, Leopard's camo is very good, so staying here is definitely a very good play. So two, if they do push the 0 line, my E4 and my VZ might have shots depending on how far they poke. If they come around like the west side of 9-0, then they'll be able to shoot them. But if they're along the edge here like that, then they won't be able to deal with them. But they do have shots. That actually is my spotting, and I'm about to be proven that after this E4 fires a shot, or I'm sorry, the VZ does high roll his shot. So now we're up to over 3k damage and some nice assists. The Artie blind fires their Leopard. The Artie was paying attention, which is really nice. Killing that Leopard was huge because that potentially just won us the game because they lost their scout pretty much. Their Leopard was really the only tank that could have scout. Now I have some free damage. I was a little worried with that shot because I was still within the spotting range from the AMX. I was a little worried that I was going to get spotted there, but I didn't because Leopard camo was cracked. So at this point, the Canadian one's moving up. The E4 is kind of moving up. I'm waiting for them to spot that E3 and the AMX again so I can get some free damage, and this is where we're going to start farming. That was just a retarded shot on RNG's part. I think it hit the front of the E3 rather than his side, so I don't know if that was my fault. That shot was definitely RNG. That was fully aimed on his side, so that's APCR for you. And I noticed that he misses me barely. I was kind of paying attention, and I didn't move. He kind of took a snapshot, so it's a good thing I would have moved. Otherwise, that was kind of a poor shot by me too. I probably shouldn't have taken that. I should have been a little more patient with that, I think, maybe. But at this point, I was eager to farm damage because the game was so close. And now that shot right there pretty much just kind of also helped us. That was huge too. That very dangerous tank needed to be taken out, and we do take him out. So already within that minute or so, we were already up at 4.7k. Like the damage just pumped up very easily there for us. So now I can just free spot everyone because I have better camo, I have better view range, so I'm gonna get behind the bushes, make sure I won't get lit because I don't want to take HP or even possibly die unnecessarily. I was hoping to get a kill on that AMX, but it's not gonna happen. He managed to run away in time. I was hoping maybe he was gonna peek this. I was trying to be a little patient because, like I said, I'm kind of scared of the grill and the VZ. So I was just trying to be careful here, just trying to use the bushes. I went to the left a little bit. That way, if they were on the zero, I wouldn't have gotten spotted as easily. Or had a lesser chance of getting spotted. So that is something too that I was thinking about. So yeah, kind of a very patient playstyle. The VZ is YOLOing me. That was a kind of a panic shot there. So now I have to run away because I don't want this VZ to spot me because the AMX is just gonna YOLO down on the hill and try to shoot me. So at this point it was nice. And the Artie actually blind fires the VZ again, so that kind of just makes me safe. The Artie kind of just saved my life there. Yeah, I honestly should have ignored the AMX. He really wasn't a huge threat, especially as a one-shot. He is still dangerous, but I should have gone and find that grill. I thought maybe the grill was still up there, which is why I'm pushing here. But I should have probably just pushed zero line. I would have been able to kill the AMX. I may have been spotted for it, but that's not a big deal. I have plenty of HP just to trade with the grill. I just have to load HE, and I will easily out-trade the grill. So yeah, AMX is barely paying attention. His turret turned so fast, it scared me. So yeah, I did have HE preloaded because I knew he was a one-shot. Unfortunately, I don't hit the grill's armor. I hit his track, so it only splashes him. But no worries, we are able to end that round with 5.6 damage and over 600 assistance. And we ended up getting 4 kills. So what would have happened there in that situation? So like I said, normally I would have probably pushed 1-2 line, or I would have been really more aggressive and tried to push 4 or 6-7 line. I would have died sooner because the grill was there, because you did end up moving there without getting spotted. Same with the VZ. So that would have instantly put me into a crossfire. I just would have died there. So staying there was the better decision, at least in this match. Yeah, it seemed to work out. So patience paid off, not being so greedy and not being so just YOLOing pretty much. Just not going. Yeah, just that really helped. So we ended up getting 6.2k combined. Let's see if we did hit any of those blind shots. Let's have a look here at the post game stats. So of course we did get a first class mastery badge for that. I was honestly expecting an ace because of the 6k, but we did do a lot of sniping, so we got a little less XP, but that's completely fine. We did end up getting a blind shot. Actually, I think maybe 2. What was it, like 5,500 damage or something like that? So yeah, we definitely hit two blind shots then because I think the max roll is like 500 or something like that, 600 maybe. So and we got 6.2, so that would be like 700 damage. So that means we low rolled the two shots, the two blind shots that we took. Um, and one of those blind shots was a kill shot, so that was like 300 on the E75, and then that one blind shot I think probably average rolled or maybe just got just over above an average roll. So not a bad game at all. Got a high caliber for that, which is nice for the 6k damage. I wish we got a little more assistance there, but again, I think being patient was more worth it than trying to be scout. I definitely wanted to scout, but my team was being brave enough. The K91 and the Foch were being brave enough, and they were kind of just doing the dirty work for me. They were taking the shots, so they did kind of in a way help us win the game. Um, so yeah, our team read the map. They moved. They stuck together. That's what ultimately ended up winning this game. Um, and yeah, I mean, just simple tactics like that, just simply reading the map, stuff like that. That definitely helps when you're trying to win a game. Again, I'm not huge on winning. Like I could care less if I had a four. Like I would be fine with like 3k DPG and having 40% win rate. I'd be fine with that. Because I'm all about getting damage and performing well. I'd rather perform well every game and lose every game than perform like crap and win every game. That's just me. Um, Knowing that I tried my best and trying to learn something out of it. That to me is what's most important when I as a World of Tanks player. So we did complete a mission too, aggressive actions. Even though that really wasn't very aggressive. So just saying we didn't really brawl. um, but yeah, that was very easy to do. And yeah, it definitely helps. So I wish I just wish I can get back into that routine where I can use my brain more because if I'm able to do that, then I can get more results like this. You know, if I pay attention and stuff like that, if I pay attention to the map, it's the beautiful things happen. If I try to make predictions, you know, if I predicted wrong, you know, you end up dying a lot of the time because something stupid happens or you just don't understand the situation, so you make a false prediction. That's me a lot of the times. And that's why I'm still a 2.5, 2.2, something like that, win 8 player. And so I don't want to get the 4K. I mean, it'd be nice to get the 4K, but I want to get to 3K to where I know I'm still kind of like where I still want to learn stuff, but at the same time I'm decent enough at the game where I'm satisfied with. I'm not saying I'm not satisfied now, because I do like being better than average, but I know I can do better than that. So I'm gonna shoot for that goal, and I think that rewatching these replays like this, one thing of that too that I learned is that I watched a couple of good better players who have like 4K plus win 8, and I learned that that if you learn after every game, that's huge. So learning what you did wrong, learning what you could have done differently. And one thing I learned especially that I need to do more often is looking at the tanks, kind of like I did in the beginning of this video, where I explained what tanks are what, and yeah, I mean why I'm going what I'm doing, what I think is going to happen based off of the tank lineup, and that's huge. That is really huge, and it can predict. It can help you decide if you need to be more aggressive or if you need to be more passive in the game and why that is. It also depends too how your team positions themselves. It depends on the map, all that kind of stuff. So just keeping that in mind uh, certainly helps a lot. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will see y'all later. Let me know what y'all think.